Yorkshire were kept waiting again for the moment that they can lift the LV County Championship trophy, one they won on the first day of this match with Middlesex at Lords. The home team had fought back admirably on the second day and resumed their second innings on 274 for 5 for a lead of 81. The second new ball was taken after 1 over, but that didn't upset Nick Compton, who was soon adding to his overnight 86. In fact, it took him only 18 balls to get the 14 runs he needed to make it to 3 figures for the second time this summer in the championship. This was an epic knock from a talented batsman who's gone about his business in a very professional manner all summer long. The 24th first-class 100 of the 32-year-old's career had occupied 178 balls, from which he'd struck 13 fours. James Franklin was out though to Ryan Sidebottom in the morning 6th over, he going after adding only 3 runs to his overnight 60. All the talk on the previous evening was about what damage the new cherry would do, but as it turned out, that was Yorkshire's only success with it. Franklin fell with a total on 293, his partnership with Compton ending on 150, the two having increased their team's lead to exactly 100. There followed a slow period of play as Compton and new man John Simpson worked really hard against an attack who for once were left a little frustrated by 2 stoic batsmen. This was cricket for the connoisseur. Simpson played his part, showing an excellent defensive technique and working the ball to the boundary whenever he could, in what was a patient innings from a man who normally likes to field bat on ball. By lunch, he'd made 19 from 85 balls and Compton 144 out of Middlesex's 361 for 6. Into the afternoon session, and these two continued to grind out the runs. In total, they stuck with each other for 34 overs, in which they added 87 to take the total up to 380 and the lead to 187. Then a surprise as Compton, now on 149, was legged before to James Middlebrook the moment the off-spinner was brought back into the attack. Compton departed after batting for 6¼ hours, in which time he'd faced 261 deliveries. Yorkshire must have been relieved to see the back of him. But if the champions thought that would open the floodgates, then they were mistaken. Simpson was now joined by James Harris, and these two became the latest to make the most of a Lord's pitch which had flattened out. There was little or no help for the visiting attack, who huffed and puffed for over after over after over, but all to no avail. These two batsmen took their side into the 400s, the lead now into the 200s, and building patiently throughout a day where Yorkshire for once were second best. As that lead built, then so did the confidence of the batsmen, and Simpson hit Middlebrook, now into his 32nd over of the innings, over the top for 6. So Middlebrook was taken out of the attack and replaced by Adam Lyth, and would you believe it, he struck with the first ball of his spell as Simpson was LBW for 47, the decision ending a 3¼ hour vigil for the keeper, who had seen off 166 balls. He was out with the scoreboard reading 427 for 8. Toby Rowland-Jones immediately changed the tempo of the day by hitting the returning Jack Brooks for 3 fours in the same over, as Middlesex headed to the tea break on 441 for 8, the home team now 248 runs to the good. And with that advantage, for the first time in the game, Middlesex were able to boss proceedings. Given the way they were humbled on the first day, this had been a memorable fight back from a team which has shown vast improvements this year after just avoiding relegation right at the end of last season. Rowland-Jones and Harris now opened up a bit, and against an attack which must now have been absolutely exhausted, they began to make hay. Rowland-Jones played just the innings his side required from him at this stage, and he raced past Harris to get to a 50, just the 6th of his first-class career, off only 59 balls, his half-century being reached courtesy of his 11th boundary. Incredibly, we were now nearing the 3rd new ball of the innings, and still Middlesex batted on. That 3rd cherry had been taken by the time Harris also got to a 50, his being made off 149 balls with 8 fours included. It was an innings not dissimilar to the one right at the start of the summer, which saw Middlesex draw with Notts. That kick-started the county's season. Harris is ending the campaign as he began it in fine form, and his team had by now moved into the 500s. And on these two went, loving every minute of it, taking the total beyond 527 to become the best for Middlesex against Yorkshire, the previous highest dating back to 1887 in Huddersfield. The pitch was, of course, placid, but that was to take nothing away from these two who batted brilliantly, although it was Roland Jones who would make the headlines by the end of the day, as he raced past his previous best, which was the 77 he scored against Somerset in Taunton last year. He moved on to 99 with this 6 off Jack Leaning, and then this. The moment he will surely never forget. A drive through the covers off Leaning, taking Roland Jones in at number 10, remember, to his maiden first-class ton of just 119 balls. He'd struck 18 fours and 1 6 and couldn't quite believe what he'd achieved.
Yeah, it's a pretty surreal feeling right now. I think that one will maybe take a little while to sink in, but you know, certainly something pretty proud to have done, and for it to be here at Lord's, you know, at the home of cricket, probably makes it all the more special.
Having been bowled up for 100, I think it's very nice that you know, I made a real point of getting up in the morning and going, I'm going to get a score today, and it's nice to be able to turn it on when you want to.
So what a day for Middlesex. They ended it on 573 for 8 from 175 overs, with Roland Jones on 103 and Harris on 67. The partnership between these two realising 146 runs. It means that the home team go into the last day with a lead of 380.